for this one, your monthly rental charge is going to be calculated by taking your annual rate multiplying it by the number of square feet divided by 12. Anybody know why by 12? Because there's 12 months in a year, right? Caleb's nursery. Okay? So that's why it was 12, because there's 12 months in a year, and you're trying to figure out your monthly charge. So number 1 says the store measures 100 by 50. So you have 100 feet by 50 feet. And you're getting charged $8 per square foot. So first of all, let's figure out our square footage. What's 100 times 50? 5,000. Very good. So if I take 5,000 and I times it by 8, because it's $8 a square foot, what's 5,000 times by 8? Try again. Hold on, well, I'm not finding the monthly one yet. I want to know what it is when I multiply those two numbers together. 40,000. Okay? So that means, and just so that you guys know, this could happen where if I were to go and rent a space, the space I think about every day, because I drive by it at least 2 times a day, is the old Zimmerman's Furniture over here in the corner. If I were to go in there and try to lease that building, because that is for lease or for buy, depending on what you want to pay, as far as leasing it goes or renting it goes, it's going to be based on the square footage. So if I were to go in there, if it were to say it's $40,000 a year, I could do one of two things. I could either A, just one time write a check for $40,000, or B, I could set aside a certain amount every month so that way I have that money in reserve. And as Caleb already told me what that number was, if I divide this by 12, what number was it again, Caleb? 3,333 and 33 cents. So my business, whatever that happens to be, okay, if I would go into the furniture making business for myself, I would have to set aside $3,333.33 each month out of my whatevers so that I could pay off my bill. And if you can't pay your bill, what happens? You get it taken from you, right? Which means you probably go out of business. Okay? Number 2, the store measures 125 feet by 45 feet. First of all, what's the square footage we're talking about? What's 125 times 45? And we're being charged $9.50 per square foot. So what's that 5,625 number times 9.5? Thank you, Tristan, for finally breaking the silence. Then, if I want to find the monthly charge, then I divide that by 12, or what I need to set aside for each month. And how much would that be? What's the 53,000 number that Tristan so graciously told us divided by 12? 4453.13. Thank you, Courtney. Okay? So, what they ask you to do for 1 and 2, just so that you do know this, and I didn't catch this until I read the directions, because sometimes I don't do that myself. Shame on me. It says it wants to know the number of square feet that you're needing, and it wants to know what your monthly charge is. So you needed to figure out the square footage anyway by multiplying that together. So 5625 is the first number that we needed for the answer for number 2. And then the 44, 53, and 13 cents is the last number that we needed for number 2. Okay? So if you look at the chart from 3 through 5, it says number of square feet. Again, you just take the dimensions and you multiply them. That gives you part A. Then to get part B, you take that number that you got for A, you times it by the annual rate, and then divide it by 12. Thus giving you the monthly charge. Okay? Is it better to own your building or lease your building? Own. Okay. Sometimes. Depends, right? Maybe you can't own it. Maybe it's one of those things where it's in a location where you want that. Maybe you want that location downtown. It's not for sale, but you can rent it. You know, like Starving Rooster here a little bit ago. I don't know if they own their building or not, but they wanted a location downtown. They got it. Maybe they leased that building. Okay. If you want to ever talk to anybody about renting or leasing space in downtown Minot, there's a teacher here that owns buildings.
I don't think anybody would complain about it. It's right on the Broadway. And they can just advertise it. People should go what's going on.
Maybe. But if you ever wanted to know how much it costs, and we could ask him if we wanted to, but Mr. Berg owns buildings down there. He's part of that whole thing to redo all the downtown area. Okay? So we could easily ask him how much it costs. He should know. So, anyway, we're page 611, 1 through 12. With pencil.